All right, hello everyone. Thanks for clicking the video. I just wanted to do kind of a quick reaction from the game yesterday about the Patriots versus the Browns. Again, Browns fan perspective here, and just kind of the Browns, the state of them in general, how season outlook is going to look like, what I think is a mess, and just all that kind of stuff. So first and foremost, again, big Browns fan. I am a Browns fan, not that it should be pick a side of either a Baker fanboy or anti-Baker. I think it's messed up how our whole fan base is divided like that. I do lean towards, I don't say anti-Baker, but I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. I do think he is a average quarterback that should definitely be in the league. That's not, there's no question about that. Some people keep saying like he shouldn't even be in the league. Like, no, let's not get that BS started. But he's clearly not a top 10, top 15 quarterback as of right now. This whole in the game and against New England, his pick, essentially pick six, was terrible. Literally two guys would have picked that off if it wasn't for the first guy. I understand they disguised the coverage, but like my goodness, like how many years does it take for him? I don't care what kind of offense he runs. Who the heck's the coach? It shouldn't take 4 years to still get terribly confused by these plays. It's not like he just had one bad throw and okay, and then he had a good game rest of the way. There was multiple plays that should have been picked off by him. Just a complete mess from his end. And I think it all starts with the coach and the quarterback, with the whole team looking like a mess yesterday. And Baker, to me, so far has been extremely disappointing. I'm not a fan of hearing these injury excuses. Oh, he's injured, so this is why, blah, blah, blah. Well, then what about last week? Against Cincinnati, he looked fine. The reality is, I think he's an average quarterback who's just not consistent, and he should not be getting paid a lot of money. The way I look at it is we have Case Keenum as our backup, and he's getting paid $6 million a year. Is Baker better than Case? Yes. He has a stronger arm, tough mentality, blah blah blah. Is he probably anything above 20 to 25 million dollars worth more on an annual basis, worthy of a player versus Case Keenum? Absolutely not. That's the difference. Why people keep saying that Baker's not the answer, and all the Brown fanboys keep freaking out about it. The reality is that it just doesn't work. It won't work with signing him long term. He's not going to take a team-friendly discount because, it's Baker Mayfield, he loves Cleveland, blah, blah, blah. No, and he has every right to choose how much money he can get. And if some dinky team like the Panthers or something offers him a lot of money, then go for it for him. He definitely should get his money. And if he keeps playing this bad, then he's not going to get any money, and that's just we shouldn't be signing him to begin with. So it's kind of a weird ultimatum for him. Yeah, I don't know. We shouldn't be even offering, as of right now, any talk of an extension. I know we have him 1 year. We'll see how that plays out for if we're going to just obviously probably pay. No matter what, we're probably going to play him next year unless we find some crazy alternative at QB. Which, to the opposite side of the spectrum, a lot of people are just like, let's get Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, are you kidding me? First of all, us in Cleveland, we realize this is not a hot destination. I don't care what sport you're in, especially compared to these big market cities that you can have a chance to play for. Look what Odell did, which I'm not getting into that right now. But yeah, so Russell Wilson, no, and they have no trade clauses too. I think their contracts they're all more unique than just here's $1,000 gazillion, please come here. Rodgers too. I mean, honestly, if I was Rodgers and I was looking at the Browns and the Steelers right now, I would choose the Steelers to play QB next year. You could argue besides O-line, I don't know. Obviously the running backs aren't good. I mean, Najee Harris is good, but he's not as good as the combined efforts of Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. But yeah, I mean they're more solidified. Clearly, they don't go under 500 in a season where the Browns, we just have this chaoticness of looking amazing 1 week, and then the next week we get blown out like we did against the Patriots. I mean, kudos to their team and all that for playing a good effort, but that's not the point of this whole video. Just more to rant about the Browns right now. So going back to the game, so Baker just, after that pick six, even though it wasn't technically a pick six, you could probably tell right away the game was over. For whatever reason, we always start off the games with a really good scripted opening drive, and then after that, it just doesn't work. I don't understand that at all. I think Baker is not good, like I stated. However, not all the blame should be on Baker. I'm actually, out of everything, I'm most disappointed in Kevin Stefanski. I don't understand for the life of me what kind of offense he's trying to run. And maybe this is just because he really doesn't trust Baker, or that I don't know. I would say the injury is bad and all that, but he threw a decent pass to Donovan People-Jones last week, so I don't really get the whole arm issue if that's a reason why. But we keep running the spread offense where they keep throwing it to like Austin Hooper, let's say, for 4 or 5 freaking yards. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is the offense? We never throw it deep. We had Schwartz and they were getting a lot of playing time over Rashard Higgins, which is mind-boggling to me. And Landry, you could tell he must be like really dinged up, and he's just not saying that because he's kind of playing like it now. Hopefully, he is at this point, to be honest, because if not, he's playing terrible. The Njoku dropped touchdown pass in the first drive, even though we scored the next play. I'm like, really, man, this is why everyone's so wishy-washy on you, just like you are in Cleveland. Like, you got to make these basic catches. Like, come on. Yeah, the offense just, I really don't understand for the life of me why Stefanski. And Dearness Johnson was running the ball well. I'm not one to say, oh, we should just run the ball, because that's not how it works. You have to run and pass. I hate to say that, people. However, Dearness Johnson was running pretty well, and I don't know why we got away from that. It's like when we go down a touchdown or two, our quarterback freaks out, and our coach loves to throw this spread offense to throw these passes for 4 or 5 yards, because apparently that makes a huge difference instead of running it for 5-6 yards. Like, it makes no sense to me whatsoever. The creativity in offense has been terrible, which I blame a lot of that on Stefanski. Play calling has not been good, but everyone keeps saying give it to AVP. Is it really going to make a difference? I don't know. Like, I don't think the play calling is the worst issue or is the more of an issue versus just the offensive scheme in general. I think the offensive scheme, which AVP is very much a part of from what we understand, is the main issue in my opinion, which is why Odell said, screw this, I'm out. And we're not even, like I said, we're not even throwing to the receivers. I saw something like Kareem Hunt still, I think, second in the team in catches, and he hasn't played in a gazillion weeks. It's just absolutely nuts. The receivers are not getting open in the plays, which I partially blame on the coaching and not necessarily the players. It's very clear that we do need more receiver talent. So I'm not putting this all on Baker when I keep talking crap. And the O-line didn't play that well either, which is very shocking. Well, not really, because they're kind of been up and down this year. But yeah, Baker is just the problem with the reason why a lot of people blame Baker for the people who always defend him. And I get that. I understand that. It's not all on him, which I do agree. But it all starts at the top. It's like a corporation. You got to blame the CEO first, and then you trickle your way down. And in this case, we have to blame our head coach and we have to blame our quarterback. And those two are supposed to be the leaders of the team, and they're very disappointing so far. And that's both. I would definitely lean more towards, I'm more of a fan of Stefanski than I am Baker, but Stefanski's been extremely disappointing this whole year. And Baker is just, I'm sorry, you can't give him that much money if you want to get this play. I'd rather take our chances in a draft that has nobody, or just try to find somebody else and just tread water. Or really the equivalent of like an 8th round or an A seed in the NBA playoffs before they change this whole new format in the playoffs, where we're a good team with Baker, and we'll never kind of reach that top, and we're going to always be stuck in that middle because we don't have a great quarterback. And not saying we need to have a great quarterback, but we need to have a above average quarterback play, for Pete's sakes. And with this okay average level, a little bit below average level quarterback play we've been getting this year, that's not going to do anything for us, no matter how well the team is around us. And right now the team around us isn't that great. That's offense. Defense, I mean, I think I don't have to speak much on that. Everyone agrees that Joe Woods should be fired. I really don't understand the whole, like, oh, let's keep defending this guy. I mean, it's just a joke. No adjustments. The players are calling him out on it. I'm shocked how well they ran. I didn't watch the last quarter of the game, keep in mind, but how well they ran up the middle against our D-line essentially for most of the game. I'm like, what the heck is this? I mean, Malik Mandel has been doing pretty well, and I'm glad we cut the big boy Andrew Billings, but our D tackles aren't great, but they're not that bad. And the fact that we just couldn't adjust to fixing that issue, that was just so super annoying. Credit Mac Jones, though. I mean, he made some excellent throws. He was looking like a stud. He looked like the veteran quarterback and not Baker. But still, the defense, I mean, you can't not stop them on third down. I think statistically it's harder not to have a third down stop than what they've been giving up. Like, my goodness. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care who it is. It's a rookie quarterback too. Like, you got to confuse the heck out of them. I don't care who his coach is. I don't care how good he is. You could throw in any rookie quarterback and you should be able to confuse them. I don't care if it's Peyton Manning and his rookie or what have you. It's a rookie quarterback. But yeah, kudos to them for playing well, the Patriots end. But the defense is just a mess. I don't even know what to think anymore about that. Andrew Berry has a lot of work to figure out with just the whole team and the configuration in general. Long-term thinking, I do worry, well, not that I worry that Joe Woods will be, we should keep him. I'm not coming from that angle, but screw him, let him go. But am worried about how we change the personnel. When we release or fire Joe Woods, we get someone else new. In other words, with like JOK, I don't know how much of a role he'll have in the future. That's something to think about. There's a reason why all the teams passed on him besides the whole heart issue thing. I think it's just because they didn't think it was a fit in their system. And he was supposed to be in ours. But obviously our system is just trash to begin with, so who knows. But you could tell he has talent, but I am afraid because you know how these new coaches are, where stupidly and stubbornly they don't play players that don't fit into their scheme. So I'm a little bit concerned about like guys like that and the safeties, if that might put less on them, which maybe is better. But we obviously have a lot invested in money and recent draft picks in that whole like safety linebacker room, JOK. But yeah, we're in an absolute mess right now. I don't know. Like I said, my biggest takeaway from this is that Stefanski has been extremely disappointing. We kind of knew what Baker was going in. I don't want to say real Browns fans, because everyone talks about, oh, you're not a real Browns fan if you're not a Baker supporter. Like, give me a break. We want to win a Super Bowl with the ones who don't like Baker. But yeah, you could just look at I don't know. It's not hard to tell that you can't have a quarterback that has high highs and extremely low lows. That just isn't going to cut in the league. And that's what Baker has had consistently each year. So even his rookie year, he only played, pretty well against these like crappy defenses. And you could, pinpoint one game where the defense he played was good. Congratulations. Out of 4 years, he played the Ravens last year in a Monday night game or whatever it was very well. Whoop-de-doo. It's not consistent. We need consistency. If we're going to pay him that much money, we got to make him consistent. Case Keenum looked like a legend for a half a year, and then look, he's been nothing since. I mean, we can get any quarterback to look that good. Freaking the Jets quarterback, Mike White, or whatever his name is, last week looked like a Pro Bowler, and now he played, from what I understand, not that great this past Sunday. So any quarterback can do that kind of performance. That's not saying anything. But yeah, we need to figure that out. And the one blessing in disguise, which I hate to be negative, but it's kind of a true thing, it might honestly help us in the long run. You got to think long term on this, that we played so bad that this could be a type of game where we make the needed changes that we'll have to, whether or not be making sure we don't give Baker that extension right away. He has to still prove it, or if not, cut ties with him. Fire Joe Woods. There's more evidence on that side versus him being a successful DC. Maybe change some personnel. Like, we got to cut stupid players like Austin Hooper, who are making $10 million just to catch 4-yard passes. We got to figure out players we need to keep and not keep, with whether they're injury prone or they're like Njoku, who just happens to be an elite player one week and then drop the basic passes the next week. So I think a blessing in disguise is that might help us from that end, kind of put more clarity when it comes to that. Because right now, like, as example, the Baker contract, he has no leverage whatsoever. I mean, none. I don't care what our quarterback history is. Like, we could be like, dude, you haven't won anything. You can't blame the 6,000 coaches that he's had, which he has had 6,000 coaches. Like, you have to be consistent. We have a team. We have a very good O-line, good running back room, even though they didn't play this past week. But we have all these players around him, and he's still not doing squat with, And yes, he doesn't change the defense. That's a very common thing, which I don't know why people think that. Yes, the defense is a mess, but still, you could tell when a good quarterback is, being affected by the defense on the same team or not. And right now, Baker's just playing bad, period. He's not playing bad because, the defense is giving up points and he has to keep going back and forth against the other offense. They're like trying to match their points. No, he's just playing bad. That's simply what it is. So we have a lot to clean up. Like I said, this might be a blessing in disguise, to be honest, in the long term, to help kind of trim the fat, I guess you can say, and kind of clean up the mess we have with certain player personnel and coach personnel as well, and hopefully get this ship rolling for next year. For the rest of the year, I wouldn't treat anything. We're probably done, as much as people would say, oh, we're still in the race. No, we're not. The wild card race, like, we've been losing to all these AFC teams, so any tiebreakers, everyone else is going to have the win against us from a tiebreaker angle. Most teams will, unless we win out the rest of the way, which I highly doubt, and I think all you guys would say you would highly doubt that as well. So from that angle, that's probably a wash, and the best angle is to win the division, but I just don't. Even with how crazy tight it is with everybody, I just don't see us probably have to win out, if at most lose one game to the rest of the divisional opponents when we play the Cincy again, Steelers again, and Ravens twice. I don't see that. I don't see us going 3-1 or 4-0 against that. And we still got to play Rodgers, and we still got to play the Raiders. Like, no, that's just, I don't. What's going to happen is, like a lot of people have been saying, especially listen to Cleveland radio, like, we're going to play the Lions, we're probably going to look very well. Everyone's like, oh, we're back in it, and then we're going to get smoked the following week. That's because it's stupid. Because we'll probably actually get a lead, and our quarterback will actually not freak out when we have a lead instead of playing down by 7. Like, oh no, let's just spread the ball for 3-4 yard passes. But anywho, I just hope Stefanski, like, he cleans up the offense down the road. Whether that be next year, I don't know. Like, you just need to throw it deep. You need to get these receivers involved. The tight ends, like, I get you want to use them, they're a mismatch, but the way they're using them is not a mismatch. They just block, and then they just run for 4-yard routes. It's not like we have Njoku running deep all the time against a safety or something. Like, it just makes no sense to me whatsoever. So I blame a lot of this on Stefanski and that scheme he's brought. It's really hindering us, and I think it is with Baker as well, but Baker, no matter what, Baker is just not even executing that. So and there's no excuse too. I mean, that first interception, he probably should have had like 3 or 4 in that game yesterday, but that first interception was just horrible. And it's I don't know. Like I said, 2 guys were there to pick it off, not just the one guy who just dropped back kind of thing. It's not like, oh, that confused him. Like, the other guy would have picked it off too. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, still, as you guys probably all as well, will always be Browns fans. Same with me. Been here, done that before with all this mess. So hopefully we'll start seeing a light at the end of the tunnel sooner than later. But I have a feeling, as you guys would probably agree, that it involves some player personnel changes and coaching changes. When that starts happening, I think until then, we won't see anything too crazy positive. But hopefully that time will come sooner than later. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and go Browns.